So you're thinking about a new roof. That is a huge decision for any homeowner, right? I mean, it's the shield for your entire house, a massive part of its look, and let's be honest, a major investment. We're going to break it all down and make that decision a whole lot easier for you.
The minute you start looking, you're hit with this question: asphalt, metal, or clay? These are pretty much the big three, and each one has its own story, its own strengths, and yep, its own trade-offs. Look, it can feel a little overwhelming. I get it. That's why we're here. In this explainer, we're going to start with the fundamental shapes, the structure of the roof itself, and then we'll dive deep into the materials you'll be choosing from. By the end of this, you're going to have a really clear framework for what's best for your home and your budget. Okay, part one, understanding roof shapes. Before we even touch materials, we've got to talk about the structure. The shape of your roof affects everything, from how it handles rain to the overall style of your house. We're going to look at the three most common designs. First up is the classic gable roof. You know this one. It's that iconic, triangular, picture book house shape. It's so popular because it's fantastic at shedding water and snow, and it gives you great ventilation for your attic space. It's just a simple, effective, and totally timeless design. Next, we have the hip roof. Now, unlike the gable, a hip roof has slopes on all four sides. What this does is create a more enclosed and, frankly, a more stable structure. It's especially good at handling high winds, which is why you see it so often in places that get a lot of storms. And finally, the flat roof. Now, it's not perfectly flat. It has to have a slight pitch so water can drain. But this design is where things get really interesting. It opens up a world of possibilities for usable space. Think rooftop patios, gardens, or a perfect spot for solar panels or your HVAC unit.
So, to recap it real quick, the gable roof, it's your champion for shedding water and debris. The hip roof, that's for top-tier wind resistance. And the flat roof, it gives you that incredibly valuable, usable space. The shape you choose really does set the stage for everything else.
All right, we've got the foundation down, the shape. Now, for part two, let's talk about the materials you're actually going to cover it with. We'll focus on those three big options. Let's kick things off with the most common roofing material you'll see on homes, especially here in North America: asphalt shingles. And you know what? There's a very good reason they're so popular. Asphalt shingles really hit that sweet spot between performance and what's friendly on the wallet. They're built in layers. You've got a fiberglass base, a coating of waterproof asphalt, and then that top layer of little granules that protect the whole thing from the sun's UV rays. They also come in different styles, from the basic 3-tab to much thicker, more durable architectural designs. Now here's the key thing to remember with asphalt. Its lifespan is all about the upkeep. The good news is that the maintenance is pretty simple. A little bit of attention really does go a long way in keeping it reliable for years. Okay, moving on to our second option, metal. For a long time, you mostly saw this on commercial buildings, but wow, has that changed. Metal roofing is now an incredibly popular and seriously durable choice for homes. When it comes to harsh weather, metal roofing is an absolute beast. Its interlocking panels form this incredibly tight barrier against water, and it stands up to high winds like a champ. Plus, it's surprisingly lightweight, and it can even help lower your energy bills by reflecting the sun's heat. But let's be real, the number one reason people go for metal? Its incredible lifespan. With very little maintenance, a metal roof can last for decades. For a lot of people, it's a true set-it-and-forget-it kind of solution. All right, for our third and final material, we're shifting gears to something with a totally different vibe: clay tiles. This option is all about a distinct style and really robust performance, especially in certain climates. I mean, clay tiles are just beautiful, aren't they? They offer this timeless look that's also incredibly durable. Because they're so dense, they're great at helping to insulate your home, and they're naturally fire resistant. Plus, that color, it's not going to fade, even after years and years in the sun. And that really gets to the heart of it. Yeah, they're super functional, but people often choose clay tiles for the look. They are the perfect finishing touch for certain styles, like Mediterranean or Spanish-inspired homes. It just gives them that authentic, elegant feel. Okay, part 3. We've gone through each material one by one. Now for the fun part. Let's put them head to head so you can see the trade-offs crystal clear. All right, here's the bottom line. Asphalt shingles, they're your budget-friendly, easy-to-install option, but you'll probably have to replace them sooner. Metal, you get incredible durability and it's lightweight, but it can be a little noisy during a heavy rainstorm. And clay tiles, they give you that unmatched style and great heat resistance, but their weight is a big deal. Your house has to be built to support them.
So, with all that information, how in the world do you actually make the final call? Let's walk through part 4, a simple framework to guide your decision.
When you're thinking about the cost, you have to look at the whole picture, not just the price tag on day one. Of course, you've got the price of the material and the installation labor, but you also have to think long term. How long will it last? And could a more energy efficient roof actually save you money on your utility bills over time? And listen, no matter what roof you end up with, protecting your investment is absolutely key. Every so often, check for any damage, keep it clear of leaves and junk, inspect the flashing around chimneys, trim back any big tree branches, and always keep your gutters clean. These simple steps can save you from huge problems down the road. At the end of the day, a roof does way more than just keep you dry, doesn't it? It's a huge part of your home's identity, its character. So as you weigh all the options, ask yourself not just what works best, but what story do you want your home to tell?